That is why. And that is also why. See if they have any insights, or see if they have any insights that I personally haven't given them. Stop what you're doing and pay attention to what we're doing. How depressed are we trying to make everybody? Hey, bring it up for Revel 9. We're going to bring it down, and we're going to bring you with it. Thank you, ladies and gentlemen. Good night. Everyone's like, I'm sad. I'm no Lil Nas X. I think it should be longer. I really want to hear that chorus again, to which I said, all right, man, well, you can just play the song again. That's one for you, buddy. We're not going to win this game, so who wants to play goalie? The power of battery backup compels you. For all of Kaz's-ness, all right, good night, everybody.
Hard Rock Lunchbox.
Greetings and salutations. Welcome to another late edition, I guess, of the Hard Rock Lunchbox, and of course, the Top 20. It is an incredibly stormy May 23rd, 2024 here in the Northeast. I make reference to the storm because it was actually just pitch black not all that long ago, which was very exciting for those of us who missed the eclipse the first time around. Also, as somebody that works in tech, I will tell you that lightning storms and bad weather that runs the gamut from Texas to New York tends to wreak havoc across all IT systems, and I have been doing nothing but doing battle with IT systems that have been knocked out across the country all morning. So to say I am in a bit of a mood would be an understatement. I'm getting my ass handed to me and stuff that I just can't seem to handle, because this is one of the drawbacks of being a remote user. You do need to count on stuff like the internet, but I am doing my best. I'll figure it out, I guess, after the show. If I have to cut the show early, I guess I will, but hopefully I won't. Yeah, man, that's where so if I seem a little harried and rushed, that is why. And that is also why. So that's about. All right, good night, everybody. That's about all I can handle for today. So no, I kid. I am definitely frazzled, so I'm going to apologize in advance for that. I can't even seem to keep a clear thought. I have given literally no thought whatsoever to what I was going to talk about here at the beginning of the box. So I'm going to go with what I had planned earlier in the week. But what I'll do first is I'll just do some light housekeeping, because that's always fun for everybody. There is a new Top 20 out, I think. Honestly, I didn't even get a chance. Like, that's how it's been today. I didn't even get a chance to look to see if it is indeed out. I'm just going to assume it is, which would also mean all the shorts are out too. So thank you for the 10,000 people that keep watching some of those shorts and the 400 people that keep watching the others. I'm grateful for all y'all and all y'all in between. But the new episode that is out on Strangerhood TV today is Face Your Problems Head On. It is also where I'm talking about how caffeine doesn't give you energy. I will tell you, I am completely off of coffee. I didn't have any coffee today, which is not helping, I'm sure. Although I feel fine alert-wise. I'm just really getting kind of pounded, no phrasing, from my job. But I talk about how caffeine doesn't give you energy, it gives you a stress response, and blah, 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 and all that other good nonsense. We just talk about 90-minute sleep cycles, which I've been, like, swearing by lately, intrinsic versus extrinsic motivation, and more. You can check that out on Strangerhood TV. I would appreciate it. A like, a comment, or a share, or whatever it is you feel like doing. The Discussions and Drinks with Bacon is my podcast from yesterday, according to their post that I get to see early. They're trying to get healthier and find out why breakfast is so important, so I'm sure it's an interesting episode. I know I always try and lean towards getting healthier myself, so maybe I'll check it out and see if they have any insights, or see if they have any insights that I personally haven't given them. So, we'll see. Man. In other light housekeeping news, Revel 9 has a show this weekend. We have a show Saturday night in Oakdale, our first time at Shaker's Pub. We took the show because we thought it was going to be fun, so I'm hoping it's going to be exactly that. I will say ticket sales are fairly low. I don't know if it's because it's Memorial Day weekend, because it's Oakdale, which is a little far out of our our range or whatever. But if anybody does need tickets that didn't get them from either Muckrakers or Craving Strange, please hit me up for tickets. I've got more than plenty to offload, or you can just go to our site and buy them there, or you can just Venmo me directly. That would be fine too. One other note about that show, and it's probably important, I always forget to point this out to people whenever it comes up, but we are playing extremely early for a Revel 9 show. We have a set time of, think of like 8:15 or 8:30, and we're actually third in the lineup of 5, which is it's just an early show, so I guess that's going to be how it works. But I would imagine we'd be playing by 8:30, so I would, if you're coming to see Revel 9, try and get there in time to see that, because it's also a very short set, which is also very unusual, which is also not what I was expecting. So I wasn't expecting it to be so early, but I also wasn't expecting it to be such a short set. And I will tell you, it was actually kind of funny because, and I've mentioned this before on the show, the way the kind of Revel 9 works and the sort of Revel 9 history, when I reformed the band with the new guys who have been in the band for 11 years, but they're still the new guys, so that's too bad. When I reformed the band with them, I dropped a whole lot of material. I dropped all G. Davy material. I dropped all of our going forward Revel 9 songs. So, like, there's a bunch of Revel 9 songs in the historical archive that, you know, if I ever kind of take some time off from the band, I'll probably actually just put out, like, maybe just wrap it all up in a bundle or something on the website, and all of our subscribers will have access to it. I have every intention of doing all those things. I'm just almost always too busy to do them. But when we got together, I was in the process of recording. I was actually at the end stages of recording what would become the Reality Crush. So what I did is I made the band learn the Razorblade Diaries. There were 6 songs on there, and then I made them learn what I was writing for the Reality Crush. Well, there were 7 songs on there, but there was only 6 that we were doing. So that was really 12 songs that the band had, like, at all. And I think I've mentioned that we used to do Master of Puppets as a cover, mainly because it was really long. And back then it was not unusual for Revel 9 to be playing hour-long shows, so we would play literally every song we know plus the cover. So it was always funny, and I remember actually saying to them, you know, at some point we're going to have to start making decisions about the songs we play and, like, all that other stuff. And we hit that ages ago, like, where it's been, like, it's not really ever a fight or an argument. It's usually a discussion about, like, what songs we're going to play and why. And it's funny because as we're playing less and less locally, we have less and less opportunities to play new material, which as a writer is super important to me, because and I know core Revel 9 fans know this, like how important it is for me to play new material in front of people, because not even in front of just people. Like, that's good for the band for sure, but in terms of, like, playing it in front of, like, our people. And I'm quoting that, and I probably don't really need to, because it really is our people, like our core fans. Like, when we play new songs in front of them, like, the read I get from them, both, like, kind of just, like, by body language and vibe is important, but also I think Revel 9 is in maybe not an unusual, but it's not super common space where we can discuss with our fans, and our fans are comfortable telling us an opinion. And, like, I'll be explicit and ask for it, which is why it's important whenever we're playing a new song to be like, hey, this is a new song, would you mind listening to it? Like, and I don't mean to be like, stop what you're doing and pay attention to what we're doing, but, like, this is a value to me. This is like a real value-added service when I can play a new song for somebody or somebody's, and afterwards be like, what did you think of that new song? Excuse me, because sometimes, I will say, like, more times than not, like, people do like the material that we have. I tend to do my absolute best not to bring shit up on stage, like, I don't like, cool, we wrote a new song, like, here's a new song. Like, by the time you guys are hearing it, like, I've worked on it, I've written it, I've demoed it, I've re-demoed it, I've fixed whatever, because before I even bring it to the band, I go through my own pre-production process. Then, of course, once we're in the band, we play it for a while, because I don't want to bring anything to anybody on stage that's weaker or not, like, a good approximation of what the song's going to sound like. Now, with that being said, we have 2 new songs. One we've played one time before, and one we haven't played at all, that we're going to be playing on Saturday. And it's not perfect, because there's some... It's a different song for Revel 9. There's dual vocals for starters, which is not something we've done. That's different from backups. This is literally a dual vocal, think like Legacy, old Taking Back Sunday kind of stuff. So that's new. But I think the band as a whole is playing it well. I think we're having some issues with tempo. Not that it's not consistent, but because we're still trying to feel of the song. It's upbeat, so it could be faster, but like a lot of times then you lose the groove. So we're in that stage, and that kind of stuff only gets settled by playing it live. So we're going to have to play it live anyway. But so it's funny because what I was saying about back in the old days, like we just played everything, so we didn't have to make any decisions. And then over the years, we've had to start making decisions about how songs like San Jose and Steven Seagal probably really shouldn't be in the same set, because not that they're the same song, but they're the same vibe. So if we're playing an hour or more, that's fine. There's plenty of space. But you can't really do like San Jose and Steven Seagal like right next to each other. You can't do San Jose and Only One right next to each other. Like that kind of stuff. So we've done that like with The Good Fight. We've sort of faded out The Good Fight in favor of Quiet Mind, that we've sort of faded out in favor of Keep You Near. So, you know, I mean, and we'll bring those back, but like, I remember recently, well, within the past year, we were considering doing Keep You Near and The Good Fight in the same set, and I was like, first of all, that's 2 really slow songs, which is not very typical of a Revel 9 show anyway, but it's also like, how depressed are we trying to make everybody? Like, are we just... like you can't just be like, hey, bring it up for Revel 9. We're going to bring it down, and we're going to bring you with it. Like, nobody wants... like, thank you, ladies and gentlemen, good night. Everyone's like, I'm sad. Like, nobody wants to do that. So, like, you got to kind of be careful about that. Like, especially, like, yours truly. Okay? I have a little difficulty doing Keep You Near, and, I've always had a problem doing The Good Fight, because it's just, for me, it's just a very, very upsetting song. And as upbeat as some of the newer ones are, like, they touch on some serious nerves for me. So I don't necessarily need to send myself into a total depressive episode and like cap it off with a good panic attack on an early set for a Saturday night. So we're trying to be careful. So, but anyway, it was funny because we're trying to squeeze as many songs into this set as possible because it's only 30 minutes. Now, the last time we ran it, it was 29 minutes, which I usually like leave a little bit of time for like talking and banter and catching my breath. I don't really need to catch my breath on a 30-minute set. I can do that on a Peloton if I wanted to. So if I talk a little bit less at the show, that's why. And we were even joking, like, I can't even thank the bands individually. I'm going to have to be like, yo, thanks, everybody, like, last song, and, like, that kind of stuff, just to get everything in. But we were actually choosing some smaller songs. But we're now at the point when we're doing a 30-minute set, this is late in our career, that we are actually playing songs that we have to, not necessarily ones that we want to, which is a very weird space to be in. And obviously the have to is subjective, right? Like, at the end of the day, it's really up to me, like, and second to the band. Like, the band can override me, absolutely. Like, we're not, it's not like a fascist dictatorship, but it is kind of like, you know, the president and the Senate. Like, okay, well, if 2/3 overrides me, then they override me, and that's fine. I feel like it's happened once or twice before, and it's always fine, because if the band feels really strongly about doing something, and I was like, I'm never going to be such a dick that I'm like, no, it's got to be my way. Bah, 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 bah. I mean, like, I don't know how Jimmy runs Craving, but I don't think it's that way either. But I've definitely seen bands that run like that. And I don't want to do that. I've been in bands like that, and I don't want to do that. So if the band is ever like, now, all 3 of us really want to do this song, well, guess what? That gets done. But what's happening in this particular set is, like I said, it's like kind of all the have-tos. Like, we've got singles out. The one where I did acquiesce is, like, I did say we were not going to play any of the new songs that we're just on the process of recording, and the band overruled me on that one. So here's a perfect example. Like, we'll definitely be playing one of those songs, and I didn't think we were going to be playing that song anymore. But, like, they overruled me. They even had a good reason, which wasn't necessary, because they all said they wanted to do it, which is fine. But so we're we're trying to squeeze 8 songs into this set, and we've got singles out, so we have to play those because those are out right now, and those are, in the Hot 100 or whatever. I mean, Aaliyah has just crossed 10,000 plays on Spotify. The video is actually coming up on 8,000 plays, which is, I don't understand. And what I really don't understand is while it's picking up a lot of likes, it's really not getting a lot of comments, which I find to be odd, and I don't know why that is. Usually there's a kind of a correlation between likes and comments, and I don't know why that is. Although, yeah, I don't know why that is, because I remember thinking that, because that happened with the Keep You Near video too. Like, there's a lot of likes on that thing, and there's not all that many comments. Everybody, like, I know every single person personally that commented on both of those videos. So maybe it's just a comfort thing. Like, I don't know. I feel like there's lots of people that comment on, like, Lil Nas X videos that don't know Lil Nas X, but I'm no Lil Nas X, so I don't really. But. Yes, by all means, always listen to Revel 9 stuff on repeat. I don't know if I told this story, but like this, the conversation, I'm going to call it an argument because it's going to make the story funnier, but the argument I had with our producer, Caggiano, about Side Out when we were in pre-production for Side Out. Side Out originally ended after the second chorus. It didn't have a guitar solo, it didn't have the stop, it didn't have that last chorus, it just had the outro. And he was like, yeah, I really want to hear... I think it should be longer. I really want to hear that chorus again, to which I said, all right, man, well, you can just play the song again. And he was like, well, I appreciate your business savvy in that decision, but, like, as your producer, I really think the song comes first. And I'm like, yeah, I think plays comes first. And then, he was right, so I acquiesced. And I really did one of those, like, after I heard it, I was like, yeah, all right, Cash is right. Okay, that's one for you, buddy. It's like... But, yeah, so that's kind of how that went. So we were actually having a discussion because one of the new songs... Oh, here's the other thing. So we have the singles out. We had to pick a closer. We're going to do a cover just to keep things light. It's not a cover that anyone's expecting yet. We're still working on covers that have been suggested. But his cover just kind of came up, and we all happen to kind of know it, so we decided to go with it just for expediency purposes. And it actually came out better than I thought, so I'm excited. I'm actually excited to have it in our toolkit for other venues that we play around the region, so that's going to be good. But the one thing that I did want to do is, because we're running out of shows, I wanted to be able to play that one new song that we played once, because it's tighter now. So I want, like, a real opinion on it. But we're also playing this other new song. And what's interesting about this other new song is that it should not be where it is in the set. And even my drummer pointed it out. And I actually had to tell him it has to go there because I have no other place to put it in a set of 8 songs. So it's actually it's detrimental where it is to the song after it, but I'm hoping the band will just pull it off anyway. And it's one of those, like, all right, we're not going to win this game, so who wants to play goalie? Like that kind of thing. But I have to be, because I told them I have to be able to intro it as a brand new song so that everybody, especially the people that I count on, our core fans, will listen to it so they can hear it and then they can offer up some feedback afterwards, especially if it's like, because it's this new style song. They could be like, that sounds really like not you, or this is not good, or whatever, like, or this is awesome. Like, either all of those comments can be accepted, and they're important for me as a songwriter, especially this early in the song stage, because I can make some of those changes. You know what I mean? So it's important to me to have in there, but it was funny because, like, even he recognized, like, this is not correct, and I was like, if it was any other time but the first time we're playing it, we'll be fine. So that's the song, Tony Omaha. I think it sits third in the set. So, like I said, it's a completely different song for us. And I was talking to Kaj about it because I had sent him the other one, which is called Nothing at All. I sent him the other one ages ago, and I was like, do you think this is something Revel 9 could do? And his answer was great. He was like, yeah, why not? I was like, yeah, that's right. Why not? And I know I've talked over the past couple weeks, past couple shows about how when you stop caring, and by caring I mean stop worrying, obsessing with what you have to do as a band, like what you have to sound like, it becomes a lot easier. And that was like a little nugget of wisdom I kind of gleaned from Jimmy when they decided to start doing singles. Now, Jimmy and Craving really leaned into that. Like, they did songs that were very unrelated to each other, which is not something I've ever been afraid of. Like, I really haven't. Like, I write in a certain style. Like, it's pretty Revel 90, to be perfectly honest, like, when you hear it, mainly because my voice is my voice. It's a pretty unique voice. It's not great. It's not bad. It's my voice, and you can just sort of tell. I also have a very specific way that I play guitar. It's like, I consider it like to be like advanced rhythm, because I play a lot of rhythms, but I play a lot of other stuff that's going on. A lot of stuff that other people either can't do or don't do or won't do or whatever, but it makes our sort of guitar-heavy drive way different than a lot of other bands. And other bands, I know for a fact, have tried to do what we do, but because they aren't me, they can't. And it has everything to do with how I learned how to play guitar kind of on my own, accidentally, and not taking lessons and figuring stuff out. And just like, I have all these kind of quote-unquote bad habits when it comes to playing guitar that allow me to play things just very differently. So, but while I've never been afraid of like having like sort of an eclectic mix on a record, I never really pushed it super far. And if I ever had anything that was like, this is like bubblegum pop, like, I just wouldn't pursue it. And now, as we're releasing singles, like, I don't care. I don't care so much. Like, the next song that's coming out ahead of our next show in June, a song called Inside, is different from every other song we've ever done, but it's different in a heavier way. So I don't think anybody's going to be like, this is not Revel 9. Whereas I think a song like Tony Omaha, I think people are going to be like, this is different, this is weird, and also they shouldn't be doing this. I feel like that's a real possibility, because even when I brought it to the band, I brought it to them under the guise of like, listen, I realize how pop punk this is. This is not for you. Please just let me know. I have no problem. I fully expected it to be the first DJ single, like solo project single, because like the only other one I was doing that was like separate from the band I had done with Mikey and Jimmy years ago. I can't even remember the name of it at this point. The hell was the name of it? We are losing power again. Yep, we lost power. All right, so let me just see. I don't know if I'm transmitting anymore. Let me check with the chat. Chat, hey chat. Ooh. Sorry for my armpit. Chat, can you hear me anymore? Let me check. Can you hear me still? Because they may not. Let me see. Check. Yep. Sorry for my armpit. Yep. Okay, cool. It looks like it's still playing. Cool. Yeah. All right, cool. That was weird. Excellent. The power of battery backup compels you. All right. So, I don't remember where I was. But I'm excited to play the new song, so I'm interested to see what people have to say about it. It is going to be an interesting set. And, I thought it was going to be my first solo. That's what I was going to say. But then the band was like, no, we like it. And I think Tony likes it because it's a simple enough song. Although Tony was the only one that really caught right away, like, what was different about it, because I wrote the song kind of in a mathematical sort of sequence, not in the way like Meshuggah does. I was trying something. I was writing the same stuff over and over again, but every iteration of it, I was adding either a dynamic or volume or an instrument or changing the vocals on it. So the song itself is almost the same thing for 3 minutes, but every iteration of a verse or a chorus slightly changes to give you the feeling of a build. So for me, it was just an experiment, and then I just had this really poppy, bubblegummy song that I was like walking through the park. I was like, oh, yeah, this is kind of like that. Well, not exactly that, but you know what I mean. So I didn't think the band was going to go for it, and then they went for it. And then Kaz is usually kind of a holdout on that kind of stuff. He was like, he totally embraced all the melodies and like made him his own. Because I was like, yo, dude, this is kind of what I want. Have it sing. And he just like, because Kaz is, for all of Kaz's-ness, like he has really stepped into this whole, yeah, like I'm like a lead instrument throughout an entire song, which is good considering he's got his own stuff coming up, his own new material coming out later next month, I think. So that might be something worth checking out. It's definitely going to be, we'll certainly be playing it here on the box. But he drives a lot of melodies on those things, so it's kind of like a marriage there. So, but it seems to be working it out. And of course, once it's up-tempo and has a good groove, Noodle's all about it. So that seemed to work out. But anyway, enough about me, enough about Tony Omaha. I've talked too long. I did want to talk about something, but I forgot what it was. Maybe it was root beer. I don't know. Let's just get on with the rest of the box. Hope the power holds up. It is dark as F outside, so I have no control whatsoever over the weather. I know you think this show is all-powerful, all-knowing, all-seeing. I'm here to tell you it is not. But I will do my best to keep our connectivity up. If at any time you don't hear the show anymore, please let me know. 99 WNRR. And, of course, as always, if you have any complaints, Monty at cravingstrange.net will get you properly ignored over there. And, yeah, man, let's get on with the rest of Hard Rock Lunchbox, or Hard Rock Lunchbox, if you speak English at all. And we start always with some local faves, because that's who I am, and that's who I care about. So why don't we get going? We got a little Bad Mary on board here, a little soapbox. You can check them out at Mr. Beery's, and I'm not even looking because I know they play there often enough that you'll find them eventually. So yeah, let's kick it off. Bad Mary on the box.
I'm not asking no questions.